Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Real Kens TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Hopefully, you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. That way, anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Now, with no further ado, let's get into this afternoon's video, if you will. Monday afternoon, about 3 o'clock p.m. And oftentimes I get emails, I get bombarded with questions about prison, and a lot of people they have a interest in prison, prison life, as far as the things that goes on in prison. I got a story that I want to share with you all this afternoon. It's about a young man, the name of Craig. Craig at the time was maybe 23, 24, somewhere right around in there. And he was out with his friends. They were just hanging out one night, and his friends thought that it would be funny to go in and play a trick on somebody. So they went in, basically bombarded the dude's crib, tied him up, left him in the closet, took his phone, but it was supposed to be a joke. It was not supposed to be anything serious. Craig was unfortunately there, and all four of them were actually charged with the robbery charge. Once they were actually charged and convicted, they pled guilty. And once they were convicted, the judge had an option of giving them probation or sending them up the river. Up the river means you going to the big house, penitentiary. The judge felt as though probation wouldn't have been appropriate in that manner, being that, they were charged with like kidnapping, robbery. A lot of times when you're charged in the system, they over-exaggerate and charge you way higher than what you should be charged with. But nevertheless, the judge denied Craig's probation and sent him to prison. Now, for you all that are not familiar with how the prison system works, I'm going to give you a brief overview, synopsis, if you will, of how it goes. First, you go to the county jail. You sit in the county jail, and you wait to be transferred to, in Kentucky, it's called the Rotary Farm. It's in LaGrange, Kentucky. And basically, when you go to the Rotary Farm, you get processed. So when I say you get processed, you get classified. They do your medical work. They do a physical examination, a mental evaluation, and they decide what sort of facility you need to go to. You need to go to maximum, medium, minimum, or community. When this particular case, with Craig, it was his first time ever being in trouble, but he was convicted of a robbery charge. He was sentenced to 5 years in the state pen. Now, in the state of Kentucky, you do 20% of your time, and then you go up for parole. So he got 5 years. He had to do a year before he actually had an opportunity to see the parole board. So they send him to prison. It's a medium security prison, Lee Adjustment Center. That's what it's called. You can look it up, Google it, if you so desire. And he was sent to Lee Adjustment Center, and they have different dormitories there. Some dorms are open bay. When I say open bay, it just means everybody's housed together under one roof, under one, like all in one unit, just separated by cubicles. Cubicles are maybe about 3 feet high, whatever, and that separates you in one two-man cubicles, and then the next cubicle, then the next cubicle, then the next, and so forth. I'm sure you all get the point. Well, Craig, unfortunately, they sent him to a dorm that was 2-man cells. Now, the crazy part about that is, here it is, this young guy, never been in trouble before. Crime really wasn't violent whatsoever. And because he didn't cooperate, he didn't tell on anybody, anything like that. He didn't even do anything. He was just there. He didn't even know what was going on, what was going to, take place or what have you. He was just there. Wrong place at the wrong time. Kids, watch your friends, watch who you hang around with. They definitely can get you into some things that you definitely don't want to be a part of. But nevertheless, they sent him to the 2-man cells, and they sent him in with Big Jimmy. Now, let me paint this picture for you. Craig was about no more than 5'7", 150 pounds maybe. Clean-cut kid, mannerable. Like I said, never been in trouble a day in his life. They sent this guy to penitentiary. So just imagine this being your son. They sent him in with Big Jimmy. Jimmy was about maybe 6'1", maybe. Big dudes, tattoos, white dude, got a big beard. He was about 41, 42. Had a big old stomach. I'm talking about Big Jimmy's stomach was way out here, man. Big Jimmy, he had a life sentence. No, I take that back. So let me rewind that. They sent him in with Big Jimmy. Big Jimmy, he had maybe a 30, 35-year sentence. He had been locked up 15, 16 years already. So he was accustomed to doing things and having things done a certain way. He was well respected on the yard. Wasn't a racist bone in his body. I seen him kick it with blacks, Mexicans, whites. He was just a cool dude. Everybody knew him. Big Jimmy. They sent him in with Big Jimmy. And it's common that when you first get, sent to prison, you don't have much. Back then, you couldn't just instantly get money on your account, and you had to wait a week to go to the commissary. Now, like, your people can just get on the JPay machine. You get on the JPay machine. Basically, you can send your people money. It's an app. That's all it is. It's an app. And you can send your people money, and they'll get it, like, instantly. 5-10 minutes later, they have the money. A lot of places, you can go to the commissary every day, or at least Monday through Friday. Back then, you had to wait until your store day. So whatever dorm you were in, you had a specific store day. So let's just say you arrive at the prison on a Tuesday, and Tuesday is your store day. Well, you're going to have to wait until next Tuesday to go to the store. So that was a situation with Craig. He came in, Big Jimmy, he let him know, hey, man, anything I got in the cell, man, you're more than welcome to. I'm a guy that gets along with everybody. I don't have any problems. You can watch my TV when I'm gone or whatever. No issues, no problem. That's the number one red flag in prison. When people come at you like that, never accept anything from anybody anyway, unless it's somebody you know from the streets or somebody that you just known for a long time. There's always a motive. There's always a motive in prison, because if I give you this Gatorade, right? You thirsty. You tired of drinking water out of the sink. I give you a Gatorade. Now, guess what? You owe me. So now that opens the doors to where anytime I need something or want something, I gave you a Gatorade. So it's best to not accept anything from anyone. So, Craig, he still had a couple items left, when he came from the Rotary Farm or whatever. So he wasn't just totally, busted up or whatever. So, Big Jimmy's filling him out. He's asking him what his charges are. And, Craig, he's kind of confiding in him. He's telling him, man, my mom's, man, she looks out for me, man. Craig, he had a good support system. His mom, his dad, or whatever, they sent him like $125 every week, put $50-$60 on the phone. They were going to come and see him all the time, on a regular basis or whatever. So, he had a great support system. And Big Jimmy, he's peeping all of this. He's storing it in his mind. Like I said, that's common. When you first arrive to prison, people just going to sit back and just watch you. They're going to watch for a little bit, see who you hang with, see who you roll with, see how you move, see the things that how often you're going to the commissary. And if they feel as though you're prey, they're going to make their move on you. About a week goes past, say about a week and a half, 8-9 days. And Big Jimmy, he comes into the cell. He tells Craig, bro, what'd you do to my TV? Craig's like, what are you talking about, Big Jimmy? I didn't do anything. He was like, my power button on my television doesn't work now, and it's worked perfectly fine. Now I can't turn my TV off and on. Craig's like, man, I don't know. I never touched the power button. When you left out of the cell, the TV was on. I never turned it off. I did change the channel. See, back then you couldn't even have remote controls to TVs in prison. It was the dumbest rule ever, but you had to change the TV like manually. Couldn't have a remote control. Don't ask me why. Just one of them dumb prison rules that, somebody came up with. So, couldn't have a remote control. And, he's insisting that Craig broke his TV. Man, I didn't do anything, Big Jimmy. I don't know. Big Jimmy, like I said, he's an intimidating figure. He don't bother nobody. He wasn't a bully or anything like that, but he was an intimidating figure. So he tells him, listen, man, You better have mommy send me $250 or whatever so I can get me another TV, or it's gonna be some problems in here, man. Because you broke my TV. This is what I do. This is how I get by. This is how I spend my time. So you better get on the phone and have mommy send me $250. They ended up working it out. They didn't say anything over the phone because the phones are monitored. So what actually ended up happening was Craig had to write home, tell his mother what happened in a letter, and he gives the Big Jimmy's information, name, inmate number, what have you. Mommy instantly goes to the post office, sends Jimmy $300, a little letter. Hopefully this will take care of the situation. I'm sorry. He's a good kid, man. If you can look out for him or whatever. Big Jimmy knows instantly. I got me one. So they remain in the cell. Craig's trying to get out of the cell. But it's not that easy. You can't just go to administration and ask for a cell change. Yeah, you can, but it's 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be granted. Now, if you find somebody else's cell to move into, then you can do that. But Craig really wasn't a street dude. He wasn't really known like that. Like I said, he had never even been in trouble. He didn't even know what was going on when the scenario happened, as far as the robbery and the prank, in which they were later convicted for. So Big Jimmy, he tells Craig, he say, listen, man, lions, tigers, and bears on his yards. A lot of wolves out here, man. And you going to the commissary every single week, and you coming back with this big bag, $70, $80, $100, and you think guys are not watching? Eventually some guys is gonna, they're gonna get at you and they're gonna test you and see if they can take your commissary. Like I said, Craig wasn't number probably 5'7", 150, 155 pounds, far from a big guy. Big Jimmy tells him, listen, man, have your mom send me $50 a week, or you can give me $50 a week in commissary, and I'll make sure that you're good. Otherwise, man, you probably gonna have some problems on the yard, man. Nah, I can't do that, man. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, that's cool. You don't want to do that? All right. So week in and week out, Craig's coming to the cell with these big old bags, while Jimmy's sitting in there and he don't have much. He don't have much at all. He don't have people sending him money. He's an old convict. He's been locked up several times, basically his whole life. So people, they're tired of fooling with him. They're not really sending him. He's not married. He has kids, but, they're not really close like that. So it gets to the point to where he starts to threaten Craig himself. Look, man, I'm going to knock you out, man. I'm going to do something to you, man. $50 every week. I'm going to give you a list. I'm going to give you a commissary list. And this is what I want. Craig's scared to death, man. Imagine this is your son now. Imagine this is your son. Never been in any sort of trouble. He's not an aggressive sort of individual. He's well-liked. People like him. But, again, now you in a different element. You know what I'm saying? You in the penitentiary. You in the jungle, man. Dude's got life sentences. Dude don't care nothing about that being your son. So he starts to give Jimmy $50 a week. Every single week, he's $50 list. Time goes on. Jimmy decides he needs a little bit more. He tells him, listen, man, you need to have your mom start to send me $50 a week along with the $50 list that I'm giving you. Lo and behold, Craig talks to his mother during visitation, and she starts to send him $50 a week. But she don't know that he's already given him $50 a week out of his commissary. He's just, Mom, this guy, he's a big dude. He looks out for me, he protects me. But, we're not doing anything funny, anything sexual, anything like that. He just looks out and makes sure that I'm good. Because, man, these guys around here, and you got dudes, man, on the penitentiary yard. For you all that's never been locked up, you've seen the movies. Dudes is gorillas, man. I'm talking about you got dudes that work out first thing in the morning. Then they'll come back during the afternoon and do their abs. Then they'll come back at night and maybe do legs and then another workout, another part of their body. And do the same thing the next day, 6 days a week. Been locked up 9, 10, 12 years, 15 years. Gorillas, man. They eating nothing but protein, fish, Jack Mac, tuna. Like people sending them $100 a week, so they able to really, really eat, and they monsters. That's how it is on a prison yard. Monsters, man. So when you take into consideration that Craig is 5'7", about 150, 155 pounds, and he's not really good with his hands. He's not no tough guy, because size don't really matter. I done seen some little guys get down, but Craig wasn't one of them guys. So now he's basically been extorted for $100 a week. But he's good. Nobody really messes with him. They see the Big Jimmy, you know, everybody understands what's going on. They understand. So game recognizes game. So they see, okay, that's Jimmy's thing over here. That's Big Jimmy's thing over here. Like I said, it wasn't nothing sexual, anything like that going on. Big Jimmy didn't swing that way. But he had to eat, you know. It's kill or be killed. That's how it is in penitentiary, man. You know, figuratively speaking and sometimes literally speaking. So, you know, he's getting his $100 a week off of Craig. Craig really not feeling paying this dude $150, even though, well, $100 rather. Even though his mother's sending it to him, he's still feeling some type of way about it. Lo and behold, a couple months later, two of Craig's co-defendants, they get transferred to the same prison, Lee Adjustment Center. So now he has two of his buddies that are in the same facility that he's in. Everything's cool now. He's happy. Finally, he knows someone. Finally, he has somebody to hang with. Finally, he has somebody to talk to, walk the yard with, play chess, checkers, or whatever. It's called programming. It's called wrecking. Finally, Craig has somebody that he knows from the streets, that he genuinely knows, to wreck with. So, as time goes past, he gets to telling them about Big Jimmy. Man, you let him just take that from you? Yeah, man, I mean, because I don't have no protection. I don't got nobody to look out for me. I don't have anybody here to really, what else am I supposed to do? I'm going to beat him up, stab him. What else am I going to do? Look, man, don't pay him another dime. That's what two of his partners is telling him. Now, his partners, they weren't like Craig. You got two dudes that was really, one of them had been locked up before. Actually, both of them had been locked up before. And totally opposite. Totally opposite. So they told him, look, man, you're not paying him nothing else. Nah, man, if I don't pay him, man, he's going to do something to me. So they formulate a plan. They say, okay, look, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do, because we got to show him we don't get down like that. So what they do is they tell Craig, they say, listen, man, when you come out of this, the next time you come out of the cell, don't shut the door all the way. Leave the door cracked. Keep in mind that the cells were actual doors, so you had a key to the door. So even if you shut the door and you didn't lock it, anybody can just come in. So they formulate a plan to where Craig wouldn't shut the door all the way while Jimmy was in the cell. See, when you in a cell with somebody, you give that person space. You all give each other space. So even if you don't really want to go do anything on the yard, or you don't have anything going on, you leave the cell for a few hours a day to where he can, have some alone time, and vice versa. You all do. That's etiquette, prison etiquette, prison cell etiquette, to say the least. So they leave the, actually not they, he leaves the door open, walks on out of the dorm. Craig leaves the dorm. Other two guys, they slide in. They got masks on. They put masks over their face. They go in on Big Jimmy while he's in his rack. Big Jimmy was on the bottom rack. They go in on him. Locks in the sock. One of them got a knife. And they beat the brakes off of Big Jimmy. Big Jimmy's a big dude now. Don't get me wrong. He tried to fight, but there was nothing he could do. He's already laying down. So when they come in the cell and they hit him, boom, right off top. It wasn't no talking. Come in the cell with that lock in the sock. You take a lock, combination lock. They had a couple of them. Put them in a sock and wrap it around your hand. Came in the cell. Both of them had it. Boom, boom. They just welling away on Jimmy. Big Jimmy, like I said, he's a big dude. He's trying to get up, but he can't really get up because every time he's getting up, they welling on him. They going upside his head with the lock and the sock. So only thing at some point he could just cover up. That's all he could do is just cover up. And they talking to him and they bam, 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 bam. And man, they beat Big Jimmy so bad. It was blood everywhere, man. They beat Big Jimmy so bad with that lock and the sock, with those locks and socks. Did that even make sense? The two guys that went in, basically what I'm trying to say is they both had a lock and a sock. And again, one of them had a knife. They didn't even have to use the knife, fortunately for Big Jimmy. But they beat the living brakes off of Big Jimmy, man. They had masks on, so he wasn't able to see exactly who it was. Now, obviously, they ended up getting caught because you got cameras, and the cameras were able to trace the blood and the clothes, and it was bloody. It was a terrible, terrible scene. That was the last time I seen Big Jimmy. That was the last time that I seen Big Jimmy. Big Jimmy, I believe they had to airlift him out. Airlift means the helicopter has to come in. The infirmary, nah, it's not gonna get it. You got to fly him to the nearest hospital, actual hospital. And those small towns where we were in, because we were in Beattyville, Kentucky, you don't really have you have hospitals there, a hospital, but nah, they probably had to fly him to University of Kentucky or Louisville Hospital, man, because they busted him up. I'm surprised they didn't kill him, man. And of course they were charged, and I believe they ended up getting additional time. Craig never got any more time. Nobody ever said anything. See, they had respect for Craig because during the whole ordeal in which happened on the streets, Craig never said a word. Here it is, a guy that's never been arrested a day in his life. He knew to keep his mouth shut. But you got these street dudes, you got these gangsters. They get in the interrogation room and they don't know how to just simply say, I need an attorney. They spill the beans. They think they're going to talk their way out of the interrogation room. When you're in the interrogation room, you're in there for a purpose, for a reason. You're not in there to make friends. They're in there to get you to tell on yourself. They'll make it seem as though, oh, well, we just want to get your side of the story. No, they want you to implicate yourself to make their job a lot easier. So they respected Craig for that. And the two individuals that ran in on him, they wasn't playing no games. They wasn't playing no games, man. One black dude, one white dude, man. They wasn't messing around. They had done prison time before. They knew how it went. At the end of the day, Craig was kind of sad because his buddies that he had grown accustomed to being around, they were no longer there. Get locked up in the hole, sent to maximum. Now they going, back and forth, fighting an outside case for assault. That's just how it goes down in penitentiary, man. It's just one of those things to where I was talking to my good buddy, Jason V. Shout out to Jason V if you happen to be watching this video, man. And, he was telling me, we were chatting actually, he was talking about through comments that he don't know if he could do something like that. Being in a scenario, being locked up, he was just basically saying they would have to kill him before he would do anything that went against his morals and his integrity. And I'd wholeheartedly agree. Thing about prison, when you go, it's like, okay, I just want to get in and get out. Do what I need to do. Stay clear of all foolishness. Don't get into any trouble. Take as many programs as I can possibly take and get back home to my family as quickly as possible. But it just doesn't always work out like that. The reason being is somebody's always going to try you in prison. You got guys in there that they never going home. You got guys in there that might have 40, 50 years and they got to do 85% of their time. It's like, man, I'm never going home anyway. So, what do I have to lose? And when you're in there, you can't let somebody just try you. Because if you allow one person to try you, other people are going to try you. And that same individual that tries you and gets away with it once, guess what? He's going to continue to do it. And going to continue to do it. And here it is, you're not no punk. You're not soft. You just want to get back home to your family. And you know, man, if I catch a write-up, this is only going to prolong my stay. I'm just trying to get in and get out. All that goes out the window when you're in prison, man. Yeah, you can have those that mentality, but at the same time, if someone does something to you, man, somebody does you something, man, you got to go all in. You got to put a demonstration down. You got to put a cold demonstration down so that the next person is going to think twice about trying you. That's the danger. One of the many, many dangerous things about prison. You may go in with a 5-year sentence. That's what Craig had. But you may turn that 5-year sentence into a 30-year sentence. Fleece Johnson went in with a 10-year sentence at the age of 16 and then get out 40 years later. Now, his situation was a little extreme, but I'm simply saying you got to protect yourself while you're in prison, man, at all costs. Mommy can't help you. Yes, she can send you money. She can answer the phone. But besides that, she can't help you. You can call up and try to talk to the warden. Unless you know the warden personally, you all have a good relationship or something like that. Nobody can help you in prison because nobody cares. You go to the caseworker, you go to the staff, and you tell them, hey, I'm having trouble. You know, now you looked at as a rat. So if you looked at as a rat, that follows you everywhere you go. He's a rat. Even if you go to a different yard, they're going to send a kite. Yo, dude down there, yeah, he's a rat, man. So now you tagged as a rat. So you can't tell anybody. You can say, well, I'm having trouble in my cell. I think it'd just be best for me to get moved or whatever. But unless you can give a valid reason, you just stuck. So what do? Just imagine if his buddies didn't come down there. The extortion only would have gotten worse and worse. Now, while I say Big Jimmy wasn't like that, I don't know. Maybe eventually he could have gotten like that and wanted more. Wanted more than just commissary. You can't afford to be in prison being afraid. You shouldn't be in prison in the first place. But if you are in prison, you can't afford to be in prison and just be afraid and be scared. No, man, you got to stand up for yourself. You got to stand up for yourself. Even if you get beat to death, it don't even matter. A person's going to respect you more. They're going to be like, man, he got beat to death, but he had heart, man. He tried. Opposed to you just let somebody come and smack you on your butt or something like that and you just laugh it off. You laugh it off or you just don't pay it no mind. No. So he likes that. Okay. So next time I can do a little bit more. Then the next time I can do a little bit more. The next thing you know, never let nobody do nothing to you in prison, man. Never let nobody take nothing from you in prison. Don't play no games. Don't play no games. I don't advocate violence whatsoever, but this will protect you and help you in the long run. Even if you're scared to death. Man, you got to show a person, man. You got to show them. You're not going to play games with me, man. Hopefully you never even find yourself in that scenario, in that situation. Prison is a terrible place, man. Prison is the closest thing to being dead. Why do I say that? Because all you have is memories of a person when they're in prison. Especially if you're not talking to them or seeing them. Closest thing to being dead, man. Stay out of prison, man. I haven't seen Craig since. I'm sure that he's probably doing well in life. Like I said, he had a nice support system, man. And I like to salute those fellas, his two partners, man, that ran in and handled that business for him. This was way, way back. This is probably 20 years ago. So I'm quite sure, everybody's out. I know everybody's been released now. Whether they stayed out, I don't know. But again, shout out. You know what I mean? True friends right there, man. True friends. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you liked the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. You know what I mean? Anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive, man. Real Kens TV, man. Appreciate y'all watching.